Today we're making a recipe from 1944, and it's so good that the author says you better be prepared to take a bow when dinner's over. This recipe comes from the 1944 edition of the Outdoorsman Cookbook by Carhart. Now, the stores, I couldn't find any coon, armadillo, or any some of the other wild things that he had cooking up in that book, so we're going to settle with something a little bit more benign. We're going with ham patties, specifically Aloha ham patties, a little bit of pineapple, and I want to show you everything that went into making them ready.
I ran to the store to pick up some ground ham as well as the other ingredients that I needed for this recipe. I started off with the onions, and then I picked up some pineapple slices as well as evaporated milk. But I wasn't able to find ground ham. I got the slices instead, but that was a problem that I could solve myself. If you don't have a grinder, you could always use a food processor to do the same thing. Then grind up a half a cup of saltine crackers. Then we're going to toss those into 3 cups of ground ham. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper as well as 3/4 of a cup of evaporated milk. To that, we add 4 tablespoons of chopped onions, and we're going to mix it all together into a pretty unappetizing paste. But we're going to turn that into 5 or 6 patties before we throw them on the grill.
The recipe says that these need to bake for a half an hour in a moderate oven, and the only thing I can figure is that's about 350 degrees, and I also assume that if he was cooking outdoors, he was cooking with live fire, and so I'm going to cook it up on the Weber kettle, and it's going to turn out pretty good.
The author suggested using a baking tray before putting it in the oven, and for good reason that I'm going to demonstrate in a second. Now, I put it on the barbecue before I had good clean smoke because I wanted a little bit more flavor on the patties. Now, here's where I differed from the recipe. The recipe said that you should put the pineapple underneath the patties, but I thought it'd be better if I grilled them, and if the patties are crispy on top, flipping them over would make them crispy on both sides. But it turns out there's some wisdom in just putting the pineapple underneath, because as soon as I touched the patties, they fell apart, and it got worse when I flipped them over. After that, they suggested that we cover it with a glaze that was an entire cup of brown sugar with a little bit of mustard and vinegar. I didn't put nearly that much on there. I have no idea how you could put that much on a couple of patties. Of course, we had to toast our buns, and then we put it all together with some grilled pineapple, and the results are right here.
So you end up with a product that's sweet, salty, and smoky, which are all good things, but in this combination, it wasn't super awesome. Mrs. Grill Top Experience didn't like it. I thought it was okay. I'd eat it again, but I probably wouldn't make the effort of grinding up the meat and going through all the things that you had to do, especially if I was in the outdoors. I'd find an easier way to make this, perhaps just grill up that ham and throw the pineapple on top.